The Black Fat Femme Podcast is a production of iHeartRadio and Dr. John Paul, LLC. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Black Fat Femme Podcast, where all the intersections of identity are celebrated. I'm one of your hosts, John, also known as Dr. John Paul. And while you were trying to figure out what crumble cookie Dove soap wash you were going to buy, I was over here trying to figure out why that's the thing. Who said yes to that collab? Who did it?
Crumble Cookie and Dove Soap have a collab?
Yes. Where have you been? You got to catch up.
Under a rock. How that even happen? How you get?
I don't know, but it smells
the
like
soap smells like Crumble Cookie. The Crumble Cookie tastes like Dove Soap. That's the real question. I need to know which one's which, because that changes the whole game for me.
It sounds disgusting either way. Like, I understand wanting to smell good. Like, know me, I have a million fragrances. I'm going to always be that girl that always has a different scent on. But I don't want to walk around smelling like nobody's cookie. Like, I just don't. I don't know. Like, it just doesn't. I don't know. But anyway, Joho, we gonna skip past that. How you doing over there?
I am. I've been better. It's been a wild day today.
Amen.
I've been fighting for my life today in traffic. Los Angeles really trying to kill me in these streets. I had to do a drive from SD to LA today, and I'm not at my destination that I was trying to get to. But thankfully, I got friends in high places that was able to say, "Hey, girl, you can come over and do your little podcast thing here." But girl,
not little, but go
right.
on.
I was like, you mean award winning little podcast? Let's calm down.
Bitch, we got awards, but go
on.
Okay,
I'm just saying we got awards. We got nominations. We're on the best list of X amount of things. Mm-hmm. That's why it's fine, because you know why? Because I am Diva Boots. I'm gonna be Diva Boots. Cunty boots sachet. I don't know how it goes, but Diva Boots.
You're gonna be Diva Boots. Yes. You know what? So not to cut you off, but the way that people responded to that actually was not what I intended. I thought it was just gonna be a funny thing we dropped in. The way people on social responded to us adding that in, so that means we're probably going to be adding in more clips as we go along, because y'all seem to really love it.
Yes.
Yeah,
I was
people to loved it.
I'm really happy to hear that. Well, I'm also glad because, y'all, we have a fun new guest on our third seat today, and I am very excited to introduce him. I met this brilliant human during our previous employments, which we don't talk about anymore. What I did not realize was how, from when I met him, not realize how incredible he was as a digital maven. He is a multi-hyphenate creative who has swooned audiences from behind. That sounds different out loud than I thought it would, but you know, it's probably still true. Behind, in front of, and beyond the screen, you might have seen him on red carpets. You may have seen him leading sessions about how to build your own brand from the ground up. Okay. You may have seen him as a board member of Los Angeles NABJ chapter. You might even see him on camera as his award-winning and self-produced podcast, Archie. Now, I refer to him as my baby daddy, but y'all probably know him as the incomparable Archie Jay. Welcome to the show, friend. Thank you for being here. How are you?
How you doing?
I mean, what an intro. I feel good. Thank you for having me.
I was happy you said yes.
Yeah, no, I'm honored, and award winning, awards, no awards, but no, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Can I circle back on this cookie though? I'm not opposed to it because they both gotta get eaten.
How you doing? You know what? Facts are facts. Facts are facts. It is what it is.
You can't be saying all that shit to me.
I just want to know how it happened.
You know this. You can't be doing that, Archie. No.
I just want to know how it happened.
Stop.
That's
stop
all.
fighting with me on this.
Sorry.
Yes, I just want to know how it happened. I want to know who went into the boardroom and said, you know what would be a really good idea for us as a company with Dove and Procter and Gamble for us to make a scent with Crumble. Like,
it's the holiday time. It's the holiday time. And
it makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? And it's also a good play on words. Like, you want to eat this cookie? It's like...
well, okay, yeah.
Happy holidays.
Yeah. Okay,
to somebody. Okay,
how you doing?
Anyway.
Just literally all that and beyond. Well, you know what? With that being said, in the words of Bernie Mac, let's move on.
Okay.
It is we got nothing but joy on our turf today. And with that being said, we're going to kick off our show like we always do by giving our beloved Tisha Campbell all of the flowers that she deserves in our Still Here segment. And as you all know, we all know that the personal is political, and there's no way for us to talk about the personal without talking a little bit about the political. And so with that being said, I wanted to say, considering that we didn't get the president that we hoped and voted for, I'm curious to ask, and again, I've been seeing this piece kind of find its way into people's conversations through and through in every single facet online. I wanted to ask both of you all, what are you doing, or at least what might you change in yourselves in the next couple of months to make sure that you can, or what can you shift? What are you looking to shift? That's the question I'm asking. What are you looking to shift in terms of how you show up online or even in your own personal day-to-day, so that way you might be able to take care of yourselves or show up in your most authentic form? I know for me, I said, we're going to talk about brands in a minute. So I want to be cautious about how much of this I give away, but I know that a couple of things we're going to be hitting on today is talking about like personal brands and talking about how people, see us and view us and all that. There was a moment a couple months ago where I was like, okay, John, you have to recognize that you are, even though, authenticity is something that you're very passionate about, you still are a brand. And I think, these next couple of months, I'm kind of wanting to do away with that. Like I want to do away with like the packaging of it all. And just kind of let people know, like, I'm a real nigga. I'm mad niggerish, and I'm mad black, and I'm mad queer, and I'm mad fat, and I'm mad angry, and I'm mad like getting rid of kind of this, Instagram ideology of what Dr. John Paul has to be. And just kind of being like we have, I think for me, just being as authentic as possible in all facets of my life and recognizing that, there are people who truly in this moment need that and are going to, and really are going to have to there are a lot of people who are going to have to come to terms with their own brands in the next couple of months. And I think that for me is what I'm thinking a lot about, as I move on, like how much of this can, how do I say this? Are y'all picking up what I'm throwing down a little bit? Like, I feel like there's a lot of whitewashing and brandness around Black people, and I think we're going to have to get rid of that. That's just where I'm at. What about y'all?
Yeah, I appreciate what you said, because I think that as the evolution goes on, even outside of politics for myself, I'm trying to get to a less curated moment.
Yes.
But I think that the continuation of just like championing inclusive conversations as you're doing today, right? That really kind of like uplift those underrepresented voices. And I know that I want to continue doing that with, the resurgence of my podcast next year. But I'm an underrepresented voice. And so I'm doing the work within myself and showing up and like curating and producing whatever I'm a part of to then highlight those underrepresented voices and speak to it, being a part of the community, and just to kind of like promote that civic engagement, but to also just like share these different educational nuances within the content through that chaotic stream as I've done, up until now, to just have that lighthearted moment around it. Cause I know that it's a heavy thing and it's about to be a heavy time, and it has been a heavy time, but I don't necessarily want to lean into the heaviness, but to shed light on what the facts are and how we as a people and how we can nourish ourselves. But I mean, we've done it centuries ago and we will continue to do it. But like, even getting through this, like, how are we going to uphold our joy, keep a hold of that joy, and then make sure at the end of this, we still got that joy to keep going, because we have many more to go.
Yeah, that's real. Okay, I'm picking up what you're throwing down. What about you, Mama Joho?
I mean, I love this question, and I'm like processing what you said, John, because I've been thinking a lot about. I think there's the whitewashing is definitely real, and how it's happening everywhere, it feels like, and it's so fascinating that I feel like since what's the word? I don't know what the word is, but like since the election results, everyone feels more emboldened to be who they actually were. Like, people are showing their whole asses and showing their full selves in ways I did not see coming. So I think I am thinking about, like, okay, so many places, organizations, brands are actually not as invested in liberation like I thought they'd be. They're not as invested in Black lives as I thought they'd be. They're not as invested in queer people as I thought they'd be. So many of them have discovered that they have given to Trump's campaign and such, and so we know that they actually are not the places that we said that we thought they were, and these are places that maybe I thought or maybe you thought, we would be able to partner with, and then it's like, oh, that actually isn't going to be successful anymore for me to want to do that, and it makes me feel like I'm thinking about now I'm thinking how do I decenter myself from those organizations or brands, and not decenter, but detach myself, and so I can center something else in the work that I do instead. I think also this year I'm going to level up my advocacy. I've become less vocal this past year because I was tired of engaging with people, engaging online, engaging I know if I say one thing, I have to say 5 more things. You can't just say one thing and leave it. You gotta back everything up. Then it becomes way too much. But I've been feeling a little bit more invigorated this year to do more for sure, and also just make fun content too. I realize I keep limiting myself. When, and I can't believe I'm bringing this up right now, but when Alphabet says I'm through accepting limits because someone says so. I want to defy gravity because I have long felt that what I want to say isn't good for fear of it being dumb or unoriginal. And then I think there are people literally doing the dumbest shit, and the only difference between them and me is choice. The only difference between them and me,
but also skin color too. Let's talk about it.
That part. But choice and the decision to just make something happen. And so I want to get myself into the mindset of making my online presence fun, a fun extension of who I am. And and what I want to do, because I know I can make good and meaningful content. I can make educational content. I can make advocacy content. I can make fun lifestyle content. So I know I can do all those things. So let's do it, bitch. Says me to me. Let's fucking do this. Let's fucking go. We can get this done. We actually don't have to play by the rules of the people anymore. We don't have to. We don't have to feel the pressure to not do the things you want to do. Also, because at the end of the day, all this stuff matters and also doesn't matter at the same time. It only matters as much as I believe it does, and I don't have to give it so much energy from outside thoughts about how it is or who I am when I know who I am in my life and online.
Yeah, I think Go ahead, Archie. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I think that that's really really important. But then I think to the first part of what you were saying, recognize how you're feeling right now, because we're not even at the start of it. We're not even in the throes of the campaign, and so it's you have to respond I think gauge like how you're responding and listen to your body with all these like these smaller things happening now, brewing up to what will be, you know, the future or, you know, our existence for the next 4 years, to really like see like how it is taking, you know, how it is holding on to you so that you know how to navigate in that space for the next umpteenth years. But I agree. I think that like demonstrating also like empathy in those moments, and then like really like fostering and building the dialogue within community and like leaning on each other and the people that are, you know, rooted in the same alignment is really important with that advocacy.
Both of y'all are speaking, and I think this is, you know, so it's funny because people who know me outside of all of the media stuff I do know that I work for a nonprofit. And, you know, that has been something in every meeting that I've been in this week. I have literally been saying, like, I understand the politics of everything. I understand we need to be responding to a lot of the stuff that folks are trying to do on paper to eradicate us. But I also think we need to be thinking about community care, and we need to be thinking about how do we care for each other and ourselves in the process of that. And I've gotten a lot of pushback because I've been telling people for the last, even in my career, for the last 10 years, I've been trying to quote unquote fight the system, right? I've been trying to find ways to break into the system or to, you know, demystify the system and all of this. And it's just, you know, I'm at a place now where I'm like, this is not like the constant fight of wanting to fight a system that honestly, I don't think we'll ever see eradicated is what's going to end up killing us. And so I think for me, you know, I understand the importance of us needing to, you know, quote unquote, fight the power. But I also think there's so much power in us looking at each other and saying, how can we keep each other happy? How can we keep each other alive? How can we keep each other uplifted? Through this podcast, through your work, Archie, through your, you know, through your creative ventures that you're going to be, you know, going down the way of doing, Jordan. Like all of this is a part of, I think, a bigger piece of the puzzle. And I think there's going to be more conversations that I think we're going to have in the next couple of, you know, episodes that are really going to be delving into this. Like we really, I think intentionality around, self-preservation is really what we need to be focused on in the next couple of months / years. And then I think eventually we'll be able to kind of take on the bigger, the bigger dragon that's out there. So, okay, y'all. Well, with that being said, we do have to take a quick break. So per our last email, we are going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk more with Archie about how you bet on yourself. More in a sec.
Okay, fam, we are black and excited to talk to Archie about all things creative.
Did you say black?
We sure did because we are black.
We
back and black. We back and black.
Archie being gooped.
Do you see what I think you just said? Black.
It is
race?
written the script, honey. Yes.
We're discussing all things creative and personal branding, but more how to keep betting on yourself in an industry that seems to keep shutting doors on Black queer creatives. So we actually chose to dive into this conversation after getting a listener email. We want to kick off the conversation by first getting to know you and your brand, Archie. But more importantly, why you felt the need to put out the content that you put out currently.
Oof. I honestly just ride the wave of how I feel, but I think like getting more deep into that, like my brand is the intersectionality of creativity, advocacy, and authenticity. And so, as a dynamic media professional and creative strategist and storyteller, I really just aim to amplify the voices that I wasn't seeing, and the voices that really rang home to me when I was growing up and enjoying content that wasn't necessarily the mainstream of it all. And then also, highlighting and putting so much love and care into the LGBTQIA+ community. And so while fostering this inclusivity and meaningful connection, I've been finding myself, but then also, building as we go along. And so it just really like embodies this like vibrant mix of cultural insights and innovative strategy, and just like being vulnerable through these things, because we're all human beings at the end of the day. And we all have these different, nuances, whether it's work, it's love, it's death, and how can we pick up the phone or go to our laptops and really find healing or education through what we're personally going through. And so, it stands across every channel for me, like podcast, social media, and professional collaborations. But then really kind of like building upon that outside of being a figure in a way, and then working interpersonally in these spaces, like, working at Harvard and really just like trying to implement like a better digital creative strategy and tapping into those underrepresented DEI voices. So, yeah. I don't know if I answered your question.
You did. I think, I really do. Okay. I think you did answer the question. I think you it was a very well answered question. I will say that. But I will say you did. I think it's great to hear. So, in so many ways. And I think, it's interesting because even for myself, with all that I'm doing, I'm like, do people ever get tired of the conversation around representation and not, and this
they
thing?
do.
It's like, and people do, right? I know they do.
Yeah.
But what I'm also thinking is, I think we're moving away from this conversation around representation, and we're getting to this place of people being able to say, let me create the stuff I want to see.
Yeah.
Let me create the stuff that makes me feel good. Let me, whether it's a podcast, whether it's writing a book, whether it's writing an article, like, I think that we're finally in this and also too, people making full careers. I think that's the coolest part for me in all of this, right? It's moved beyond, in my mind. I think we've gotten away. I think 2017, 2018, and maybe even 2019, we were talking a lot about representation, but now I actually think we're looking at people who are tapping into their quote unquote creative juices and saying, I want to create the stuff that makes me feel good. I want to create the stuff that I can put my name on or put my stamp on and make me feel alive. And I think that's really what you've done with your brand as well, is you're really kind of tapping into both your younger self and your current self and your future self, and you're kind of creating a pathway for that. So that's really cool.
Yeah, and I think you really have to like do some like self-reflection. At least that's how I like to, come at stuff, right?
Yeah.
I would prefer to be rooted in who I am opposed to aimlessly be showing up in a space and like presenting content and trying to help and put out a storytelling, if you will. And so it's like, what is my story, right?
Yeah.
And so stories are like you're really understanding yourself and each other to really like communicate the value that you have, because there's also different like nuances within the story, which is also okay. You don't have to like nail down to one specific thing. Like the story I tell to myself as a creative strategist by day is not the same story I have as a media talent. And so both stories can be true, and really just like being able to identify where you fall in those lanes and knowing how they can both coexist so that you can show up and give your authentic self.
Amen. So, with knowing that you produce your own show, the Archie Show, which has some of
tired.
It's a great show, though.
Trust me,
it's
honey.
a great show. It's fun as hell.
It is.
I'm still waiting for my invite.
Yeah, it is.
Season 4 on the way.
Yeah, I wanna co-sign +1 the tired, because I think everybody on all 4 of the boxes that that are here, including our producer, is probably feeling the push of how much this year has been in terms of exhausting.
Yeah.
But I will say that you have had some amazingly great people on the show. Travell, who is a good Judy of ours, Amber Riley, who it's funny, I ran into her at the
love her. Where?
Yes, I ran into her at the Color Purple premiere, and she pointed at me and I pointed at her, and it was like, I know you know me, and we know each other. It is just good to see each other. So it was just a really good moment. But absolutely love her, house down boots. But I did want to ask you, in the process of producing your show, and I think this is what going to you, Joho. This is what I think the listener was asking. I think the listener is asking, how do you get to a place where you're okay with the risk that come with betting on yourself, right? So like, even thinking about, a lot of the creativity around this show, we've taken a lot of creative risk, and we're about to take another big one going into 2025. We know that they're risks, but we know sometimes we have to take them. And I think sometimes people see risk and they get scared, and that is what caused them to say, actually, I don't think I'm going to go ahead and do that. I don't think I'm going to go ahead and put that thing out, or I'm going to share it with the world, or I'm going to talk about it in public because I'm afraid of how it might be received. So I guess one of the questions that I wanted to ask you is, how do you stick to your guns around the decisions that you make when it comes to like risk and other things around both your show and all of the ventures you're in?
Life is funny. But I think it really, there is something in me that I really can't put words to, and I can go into this deep, but there's something in me that really just sees it and feels it for myself that I have to fulfill. And so I'm betting on myself each and every day. And I understand it's like when we have these conversations with people who are, teetering the lines of like taking a risk, I'm okay with coming at it to you with care, and maybe risk is a bit aggressive, right? So like, how can you challenge yourself to do something that you haven't done, right? Maybe it's not necessarily categorized as a risk, but like, how can you challenge yourself? I know for me, like one of the biggest risks I've taken, specifically if we're going to talk about Archie the podcast, is being independent, right? I've had 3 conversations with networks and it just didn't feel good, and there was not much ROI, return on investment, for myself, and it was just me giving myself to a platform that really it felt like it would take away the energy of what I've been so intentional around building. And so I think that right there is a risk, and a challenge that I've been involved with, because now I'm still, going into the season 4, which is coming. Everybody be beating me up. They be like, doing everything but a podcast. I'm like, I'm sorry, y'all, we coming. But it's like, but that is a challenge, and I've dealt with different, challenges in keeping the integrity of the project that I have curated. So I would love to be on a network too, but it's like, the leaders be weird, and then they get, sexual allegations, and then I'm not making no money, and it's just
God, yeah, ooh,
ghetto,
honey, yeah, no, I get it,
yeah,
I get it, and I'll say this before I know, Joho, you probably have another question, but I was gonna say, I'll say this too, I really do wish there was more space and even grace for folks to really have real conversations about how do I say this without getting in trouble? Because I know Will listens, and I don't want Will thinking that this is not a dig at my boss. You know, I think that sometimes people, this is not a dig at anybody, really. I think people don't understand the nature. I'll just leave it at that. The nature of this industry. Money talks. There's always a lot of conversations around money and budgets and things of that nature. And sometimes people are, I'll say it this way. People are not always people are not always out for your best interest. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the thing that I think is what you have to watch. And I'll even say this, I'm grateful that we landed where we did, because this show went through 3 different networks before it landed on iHeart. And I'm glad that it happened the way that it did, because now I'm with a team of people who I truly trust, mm-hmm. who I know have my best interest at heart. And it's so just all that to say, this industry is really messy, and I'm happy that you talk about that openly.
Yeah. I think there's there's a difference between, for people who have the agency and power, there's a difference between the best interest and the bottom line, and the bottom line for many folks comes first, even though that bottom line isn't actually in the best interest of the creative person who's doing that work. And so it is really special, Archie, to hear you talking about how you have said no to things, because no is a really strong word. I think people don't always recognize that. Like betting on yourself also means saying no just to different opportunities too, when they actually don't serve you, or you know that they actually won't support you long term. So I really, really appreciate you saying that a lot. And I think that also leads into the idea of what your personal brand is, because your brand isn't just your brand isn't a pick me. Your brand isn't someone who says yes to everything, because your brand is about being intentional. And so I know you've been this talk several times now, and you've mentioned the importance of personal branding, but I really want to know more about what it has meant for you, if we go along with the theme today of betting on said personal branding, and what does it feel like and look like to maintain this personal brand, knowing that you say no, knowing that it means that you may not move as fast as other people are. I think our listeners would love to hear more about this.
So you're asking me about what it looks like in that no space?
No, not so much in the no space. No, just let me rephrase. It's more of when you I want you to share more about what has meant for you to really dive into personal brand. What has meant for you to put that forward to people. What has it meant for you? What is it looking for to have one? The no part came into how was it looking feel like to accept the no's that you say, because you know that, and even though knowing you may not go as fast as other people and stuff.
Yeah, I think that you really have to there's a lot of self-work, right? And I think that can I call you wait, can I call you doctor? Can I call you?
Yeah.
Okay, chic. So as doctor,
they are doctors. So yes, they are doctors.
Yes. No, but as the doctor was saying, I think that it's a really specific and intricate industry, right? Yeah. And so you really have to make sure you are pouring into yourself in whatever way that looks like. And we can talk about that for hours and hours, right? I don't know if that's a therapist. I don't know if that's a running, a nature. I don't know if that's praying. I don't know if that's reading a book. And so,
doctor.
And so, to know those things and to be aware of those things of what's going to keep you rooted, grounded, and focused, because you can get distracted. There are tons and tons of creators and podcast hosts and hosts in general, and people in your same professional field with similar titles that you can look to them and feel like, I'm not doing X, Y, and Z because X, Y, and Z is here and they have this. But you have to have a really, really clear strategy and knowing that you are doing exactly what you should be doing in that divine moment. And that, for me, that comes from my faith in multiple things. And, I have a great family support system as well, but those things ring home for me. Right. And then, as I have been on a break with the podcast, I have become aware of burnout, right? And burnout culture is so real. Like when it comes to the independent media professionals who are simultaneously building these brands, roughing it for weeks on weeks on weeks, you got to know when to stop, pause, to be able to make sure you're coming back at it even harder. And I think that that's been the space that I've been in for some time. But yeah, I mean, it really looks like that. And then it also, there's a lot of, for me, there's a lot of still nurturing and fueling different things, right? My podcast is on hiatus, right? But I've worked on other people's, right? And so it's like I'm still tapped into this network. I'm still I was in Saudi Arabia launching an island, and so I'm still able to like connect with these like influential lay leaders to be able to know how I'm going to come back and show up in my full self. And so I mean, no, it's I could say so many different things.
Did you say launching an island as in you like launched what?
Yeah.
That's so fascinating.
I'm
like,
hold
can
on.
you,
Chris?
say?
I hope you may have to bleep this. Is it the one with that hotel and Beyonce? Is it where Beyonce performed?
No, it's not. That's Dubai. I was in Saudi Arabia.
Okay, never mind.
In Neom, and so this was recently. This was October 2024.
Oh, okay.
And it's a new island that's being built, and it's in the Red Sea, and so it was being positioned to be the new yachting destination of the Red Sea.
Wow.
And so Alicia Keys performed at this one, and we had an opera singer and. Chris Tucker was there, and Will Smith, and it was a lot going on.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I have feelings. I don't want to get us canceled. But anyway, let me get back.
I'm very happy you got to do that opportunity. That's really
I love that for you. Yes.
I'm glad it is over.
But
yes, I'm happy for you. But that woman,
Alicia Keys?
Yeah.
What'd she do to you?
I was like,
she didn't do nothing. It's
alone.
Just her voice ain't been the same since she stole that.
But can
lady's
she
husband.
find the key?
Her voice ain't been the same
God.
since she stole that lady's husband. It ain't been the same.
She told that man, she said, I just want you close so we can stay forever.
And God snatched her voice and said, literally, Ursula, all of it. But but all that to be said, let's get back on track.
Yes,
I will say I definitely love your answer to that. And I had this whole elaborate thought. No, it's cool and it's gone. But I was gonna say I think what I remember from it, or a little bit of what I remember, I was also gonna say too, I think to your point, Archie, and also to your point, Joho, or to the question that you're asking, and to folks who are listening, and again to the few people who asked this question / have asked us this question in the past, I think you have to also be okay with the idea of knowing that if your personal brand is authenticity and not wanting to give in to capitalism and not wanting to give in to quote unquote, how do I say this? The easy way. Yeah. And I don't want to make it seem like I'm shading anybody, because I know that there are some dolls out there who are like, morals, I don't know what the hell no morals are. I do whatever the fuck I want to do because I want to check. And I respect that.
Yeah, go off.
I respect that. Go off, girl. Make your coin. But when you are very much a person who's like, I want my personal brand to align to this thing, authenticity, uplifting Black voices, queer voices, like if you're that person, you are going to have hell in this industry trying to establish your brand. And so I love that you talk about risk in that way, because I think you have to really even ask yourself, like, it is a risk to say, I'm not going to do that because it doesn't align with me in who I am or who I want to be.
But literally, like everybody right now, go pick up a mirror, go stand in your bathroom, go look in the mirror, look at yourself and say, what is my goal? And if your goal is right now, then do what you do right now. And if not, if there's longevity, then you need to come out with a little clear strategy, sister. Because, it's just going to like, you will stand the test of time being true to yourself. And if you are just doing what makes you happy and being kind and organic in what you are producing.
Yeah, they said it. They said it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You said
They
a
said
whole ass word.
Yeah.
As you always do. This is so fulfilling and so good. All right, y'all. Now that we have hold on, girl, John, what is this? What is this? I have never in my life
to Ayala
in a hole and spoke. Okay.
What?
Girl, you have
Y'all
me out
didn't watch
here
Ayala?
saying some wild chicken shit. Okay.
What?
All right, y'all. Now that we have put our head in the hole and spoke to the dirt like Ayanla has told us to, not knowing what the hell that means, we gotta take another break. But when we get back, we're gonna have some more fun with our guests back in just a jiff.
All right, y'all. So we are back in Living Color. And this week, we are going to go ahead and do something a little bit different. Y'all know we love to remix things around here. So normally for segment 3, we usually do Go Love Yourself. But this week, we are talking about Go Brand Yourself. And having a branding baddie on the show, there was no way that we were going to be able to not have a conversation about branding. And so with that being said, I wanted to kind of play a game / just kind of start thinking a little bit of this idea of like, how do we brand ourselves, or how do we get into kind of, you said that right now, right? Like, how do we get into it? And so we have a word bank of adjectives that could describe our brands. And we're going to assign these words to ourselves and each other and share why. So we want to know if, here, hold on, I'm trying to read that. We want to know. Okay. So we actually really want to know kind of what your brand is, or based off of these words or based off of these ideas, what specifically would that mean for you? So I've picked 3 that I'm going to throw out for everybody. And then y'all can go ahead and play with those words if you want. And then we'll go on. Archie, if you have your own words that you want to use for yourself, or you want to use the 3 words that I have here, you can.
All right.
Or same thing, Joho. If you want to use the 3 words that I've thrown out, you can. Or you could come up with your own words and then talk about how you've developed your own personal brand. Is that cool for everybody?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's like
okay, cool. All right. So, Joe, you are so excited, and I live. Excuse me. I'm getting over being sick. I am so sorry, Archie.
No, you're fine. Please heal.
Okay.
Please get better.
Oh, my Lord Jesus. But with that being said, okay, so the 3 words that I pulled out of the bag for everybody is ambitious, accomplished, and confident-ish. And so I'm going to take the word confident-ish as one of my key staples for my brands, and just kind of explain that I have learned that a big part of this industry is fake it till you make it. And even if you don't fully know what you're doing, act like you do until you do. And so that's where that confident-ish comes from for me. So a big part of my brand is confident-ish. But the other words is ambitious or accomplished. And if there are any other words y'all want to add to that bank, you can. What about you, Archie?
You know, I'm not going to take your word. I think I'm going to add a word to it.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Go ahead. Go
okay.
ahead.
I feel like this is like a word orgy.
Yes. How you doing?
You know,
yes.
I'm going to, not yet. Yes. Audacious. How do we feel about it?
Yeah.
We love audacious. We love audacious.
Yes. Yes. I feel like that rings home for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Interpersonally.
You think you're audacious?
You tell me. You tell me.
You know I think you're audacious.
You know what that gave me? Have you seen that meme of that black girl looking at that other girl, and she's like smiling evilly, and she's like, "So you agree?" It gave me like the black version of like, "So you agree? You do believe?" Like I don't know. It gave me that, or even like
Archie
a Mean
knows I love him. I couldn't resist. Like, you think audacious? But Archie's audacious as hell.
Yes, go ahead.
I will say it. Yeah, I will say it, and I will do it.
I love you. Any more words you want to add to the bank?
Oh, vibrant, witty.
Vibrant and witty. Yes.
Okay. I can.
Yeah. Something fun to throw in the orgy.
I confirm. Okay. So I have chaotic, high caliber, and transformative.
Okay. Okay.
Now I put chaotic because I feel like chaos is my brand. I feel like chaos is definitely Archie's brand.
Okay.
Chaos is part. Sorry. Oh, boy. No, I think chaos is part of Archie's brand. Not and chaos is really not your brand at all, John. Like I don't like you. No. Like you don't enjoy chaos. Like I can find fun in chaos. Archie, I like you find some flow in chaos and some fun in chaos as well.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
I think high caliber for all of us because I think all the stuff we do is high caliber. Like we don't do basic, we don't do mediocre. It's all high caliber stuff. I would say for myself, I think I would say transformative for myself, and not because I'm so transformative, but I mean, but in the sense of like, I believe that my brand is like I'm transforming myself as I'm sharing it. So transformative in that way of like I feel transformative in what I do and how I do it, and makes me feel like I'm constantly transforming myself in front of others, as a method for like demonstrating what my own values are.
I love it.
Yes. I don't know why Whitney Houston's The Greatest Love of All started playing in my head as you were talking, Joho. I believe the children are our future. I don't know why. I just do. I just did. But you also, my mind is all over the place today because I am feeling a little chaotic. But what I will say is...
Do you like it?
No. Before I even came in, I was low-key cussing out life coming through the door. As I was coming in to record today, I was like, this is some bullshit. But what I was going to say is I think a big part of me also, too, that doesn't like chaos is because I grew up in a lot of chaos. And considering that my life was so chaotic growing up, I think now as an adult, and also there's like a Leo-ness to it, too. There's something about the Leo in me that really enjoys. Ooh. I don't like any surprises. I'm not a huge surprise person. Don't surprise me. Don't drop nothing on me. Don't tell me last minute nothing. I want to know from the moment. Yes, I need to be clear. I need clarity.
What's
and
your
I
sign,
think
Archie?
Aries.
Oh, you're an air sign. Okay.
No, fire.
Fire? Aries is a fire sign?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know. I thought Aries was an air sign. See, look at that. Fail. Okay. But anyway, okay. That actually makes a lot of sense because I can see in your characteristics a lot of Leo.
Me? Oh, okay. The fire. Yeah. Yeah. Two of my closest friends are Leo, so I get you.
Yeah. Yes, God. But anyway, all that to be said, yes, I'm very much a big believer in this idea that I don't surprise me.
Don't surprise you.
Like
maybe
surprises.
like what about like okay, let's say like
John does like surprise because John had a surprise birthday party and you did like that. You liked this.
It was
birthday.
cute, but I didn't love the idea of being surprised. Because it was like, I like knowing what I'm doing.
Yeah. I mean, you're a control freak is what you're telling us.
Basically.
Yeah.
John loves a plan. One thing about my girl, John, she loves a plan. Don't deviate from that plan.
Please
don't throw some shit in that plan. Get the plan together and have
it.
Like, one thing about my girl, she loves a plan. Yes.
Don't, Because that is the question I'm always asking. Like, it's funny because I actually, and going on a random tangent, but I will say I'm on a project right now. And they asked me to do something, a part of the project. And it was funny because as soon as they asked me, I was reading through it and I literally jumped into the Slack. It was like, okay, so just to be clear, I just want to ask, like I wanted to make sure I totally understood what they was looking for. That's me, house down boots.
Yeah.
I like clarity.
Dr. John, do you have a partner?
I do. 14 years.
And so how do they like the control?
It's funny because my husband's more controlling than I am.
Oh,
I was gonna say I was gonna be like I don't think John has the control, and I don't think this show has the control in that one.
Just wondering.
No,
which I will say is definitely interesting because you definitely you shift in a way, John, like when they bring out their control.
Yeah, for me, it's just easy to just let them do whatever they want to do. Because I'm like, okay, fine. If you,
you're good. You know they got it, so you don't have
like,
to.
All right, if you want to do it, go off. And I also like being the I told you so person.
Oh, wow.
I'm also kind of like, I like being like, okay, you think you know what you're doing? Do it. Go ahead.
Dirty
Go
work.
ahead. Go ahead. Do what you're doing, girl. You think you got it? Go off.
You say, act the fool, girl. Act the fool.
Act the fool, girl. And then when things go left, I love to sit back and be like, so how did that work out for you? Just because I already told you. I just want to know how it worked out for you. I just want to know. So my husband knows that about me. He'll say, he'll look at me too and he'll say, don't say anything. And I'm like, okay. I just need you to know that I knew and you decided to do something different. But go off, girl. Go off. But yes.
Oh, God.
I don't know how this turned into being about me, child, this week. I'm leaving this segment. So with that being said, we're going to take one more break.
Archie had questions.
Listen,
I'm leaving this
be hosting
section.
sometimes.
I was like, he waited through his hosting back. He made his
This
show.
become about me, and we got you on as a guest. I'm like, this is violent.
I've had some shows.
Oh my Lord Jesus! Not you, Tyra Banks and me. But we got one more break to take, and when we get back, we're gonna dive into y'all's favorite segment. We'll be back with No Ma'am, Yes Ma'am, and No Ma'am Pam more in a sec. All right, y'all. So this week we're gonna dive straight into our yes ma'ams and our no ma'am pams. This is the segment that everybody knows. Basically, we say yes to the things that we love or the things that we're seeing that we actually want to celebrate, and then we say no ma'am, or we throw a tomato at the things that we think is basically bullshit. And so with that being said, my yes ma'am for this week. So I initially started out by saying I was excited to see that there's a lot of bathroom bills that keep failing, and I was actually really excited about that. But then at the time of recording, so actually today is, so by the time y'all hear this will be a little bit late news, but there were a whole bunch of activists who took over the Senate today. They went in, used the bathroom, and basically were just causing chaos. What is her name? Nancy Mace is her name? And is that her name? Nancy? That old lady who basically was talking about there's basically, so y'all gonna probably have to check me. Nancy Mace. Okay. I know something, y'all. Sometimes I know stuff. But yeah, Nancy Mace is one of the women who basically has been instituting this whole uproar in government, basically saying that trans people shouldn't be able to use certain bathrooms in certain spaces. And so basically a whole bunch of queer and trans influencers and people who are change makers basically they went in today and they basically said, I'm going to use the bathroom wherever the hell I want to use the bathroom. And so some of them were arrested. Some of them were carried out of the space. But I just genuinely wanted to say, like, not even say yes, ma'am, but say fuck yeah to that, because I think it's really cool that we're still seeing people actively resist. And that is going to be the only way that we actually get things done in this country is literally, you know, and I hate that we have to put our bodies on the line. I hate that there's so many of us who are literally putting our wellness and our livelihood on the line for change. But it's invigorating to see, at least for me. It's, you know, especially feeling very powerless in the last couple of months. It's been really cool to see people, you know, still remind me how powerful we can be when we come together. So wanted to shout out Raquel. Wanted to shout out a couple of other folks who I know personally that I probably shouldn't name because they don't want to be public about the work that they do. But definitely wanted to shout out Raquel because I know that she was one of the ones who was Raquel Willis for folks. She was one of the ones leading the charge on that. So wanted to just say that. My No Man Pam this week, I didn't care enough to read the full article. So I might be talking ignorantly about this. I don't know how ignorant I am in this. But I just wanted to say, fuck the Village People, and fuck their dusty ass music. I don't know the full scope of that article of what.
Not YMCA.
That dusty ass song. I don't know the full scope of what happened in that article.
It is an interesting story.
Like, I said I'm not gonna read it. I just said I literally intentionally said I'm not reading this.
What was it?
I didn't
see this one.
So okay, so let me just, because I thought it was an interesting story. So basically, the Village Voice people who did the YMCA, one of the people on the band, basically supports Trump, and then had made a comment of how the YMCA is like isn't a gay anthem, like isn't a cruising anthem. Sure. And yet the band has definitely played at many pride parades with this exact song. Yeah. And has definitely been like, yes, we love the gays. We love the song for the gays. So it is an interesting thing of like why this man in the Village Voice was like, no, it's not that. Like please stop saying it's like a gay anthem. when they have said it. So like, it's
so maybe not fuck the village people. Maybe fuck him.
That man. Fuck that man.
Fuck that man.
Like, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if the whole of the village people have. I don't know if the whole village had something to say about it. Just that one man.
Okay. Not a sweeping of the village people. Just fuck that man. I don't know who that man is. He could walk up to me on the street and I wouldn't know a thing. Sorry to that man. But yeah. So anyway, fuck him. And I'm still here. You know what else I'm gonna say? Fuck you too. Fuck you, Walmart. I know last week I got on Walmart's ass about them dropping their DEI. They'll never be one of our sponsors. Archie, I can see your face. They'll never be one of our sponsors. I already know this. So that's why I said it so publicly. So fuck them. But I want to say fuck them again this week, because last week I said fuck them for dropping that DEI. Basically I don't know, Archie, if you know, but they have basically said that they are not doing anything with DEI. And if there's anything LGBTQ, trans related, anything related to inclusivity, they're not fucking with it. That's basically what they said. I want to say this week, fuck them, because how are you going to say that one week and then put out a Love in, what is it? Was it Love and Basketball, or what was the other movie? It was Love and Basketball, right?
Love
I'm right.
Jones.
Love Jones. Thank you. How are you going to put out a commercial around Love Jones right before the holiday and then talk about, but we don't see it for black, for queer, for non-bi? Like, so it's just, is it Uchi, Wally, or one mic? Like, that's all I want to know, Walmart. Like, I just really want to know why are you you want our money, but you don't want nothing to do with us. Okay. That's where I'm at. So I'm going to stand on that. What about you, Archie?
So how does game go again? Oh, Lord.
Yeah,
okay. So what I don't mess with.
So basically, if there's anything you've seen in the news that you want to celebrate, if there's anything in the news that you want to throw rocks at.
I think I'm just going to stand behind President Obama, who basically just suggested that, Trump's victory showed that democracy is pretty far down on people's priority list. And so he was speaking to the foundation, his foundation, their foundation, the forum, by like acknowledging the timing of the conference and its like focus of the importance of democracy for the month after the election, and really was just, hitting the nail on the coffin. There's an article out there just about, there's a lot of social advocacy, there's a lot of things on TikTok, but like democracy is just really not our priority. And I've had one-on-one conversations with people who I've rubbed shoulders with in a work environment or whatever have you, that also just really signify this, which is unfortunate, but yeah. And what I'm not messing with, this is not in the news, but this is a personal thing for me. Now, Spotify Wrapped came out recently, and it had everybody's top songs and artists, and people wanted to throw rocks at me because J-Lo was number 2, and I just want to say, I just want to say that I appreciate dedication. Okay? Dedication, because she's dedicated, and I like to listen to Beady Beady Bum Bum. I like listening to Beady Beady Bum Bum and play while I'm on the treadmill. Okay? So that's why it's number 2.
Listen to the real version from Selena herself.
Right. Why are you listening to her version?
Why
because
the J-Lo version?
Because the movie is in my heart.
It's not even Authentico.
That is going to be the title of this episode. Staying authentic. No, you know what? We'll get canceled. I'm not doing that. But I was going to say, I was going to say stay authentico, but we can't do that. We'll get in trouble. We'll get in trouble.
No, but something I'm not messing with is in, I think, Kuwait. They banned Wicked because of LGBTQ IA plus representation and Cynthia Erivo. So I will say Kuwait.
Yeah.
Kuwait? No, we're not a fan.
I you know what? So I'm actually gonna be. I'm going to see it tomorrow, and I don't. We did a whole episode about it last week, and I don't know. I don't know how to feel yet. I don't know.
Do you think it deserves a banning?
No, I'm just tired of it.
Oh well, yes.
I feel like it's just
everywhere.
one of those things. It's just,
everywhere.
It is just since November 22nd. It's like you can't go.
Yes, I just saw it 2 days ago. Actually, I'm about 3 weeks behind.
So tired. But I'm gonna see it tomorrow.
It was beautiful though.
I'm excited. I'm excited to hear your thoughts, Sean. I think you'll like it.
I probably will, but like I said, I think for me it's just more. I'm done with the hype.
I keep doing this. Have y'all seen it?
What the?
Wait, have you saw it? Or are you going back?
Movie, yes. Oh, I saw the movie for sure.
I keep doing that. Ariana Grande head thing.
What was that? I just see the book. And
that shit had me screaming. The little head thing just toss.
Does she do it
toss.
often?
Toss.
Yes, several times, and she teaches everybody how to do it. She's like,
maybe 19 times.
It's so funny.
Is it a tick?
No. Like she has inches for white girl. And so she goes.
She's like,
it's like I can't do it with the headphones on.
It's like
it's
like the blonde hair goes like.
Yeah.
So it's the hair flip without the actual hair flip.
This,
yes.
Yes. But it's dramatic. So
so
she'll do it and she'll like dip her shoulders, she'll look behind her, and then she'll like toss.
It's so funny.
It's so silly because she does it most like it's just I'm really like what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Okay, girl, go on.
Huh. No, I initially thought it was. I saw the clip with her dancing with that book. And I thought that's what everyone was making fun of was the
I see.
The choreography because it does look like, is that a tick girl? Like what?
Yeah, because and I wasn't going to be shady about it. I was just saying like that's what I thought it was when I saw people online making fun of it. I thought it was initially that, but no, and I said this last week, and y'all are probably so sick of me already saying this. I have a thing like when stuff gets overhyped, it's like okay, we get it. Like yes, I get it, but like. Can we please move on? Like, can
Dr.
we
Johns?
Yes.
It's popular. You want to be popular.
I think the other part for me is this, and I know we're going to have to move on. And Joho, you still have your
go.
No, but I was going to say, real quick, I was going to say, I think the other part of me knows that there's a part 2. And I think that's also what's driving me up the wall is like, God, I got to deal with this again.
Yep. You do. Yep. Sure do.
But
yeah,
but it is. Archie, did you see the actual musical as well? Are you familiar with the whole musical itself or just the film?
No, I haven't. I'm gonna go soon though. It's in Los Angeles.
It is. Yeah, the Pantages.
Pantages. Oh,
yeah, girl.
I want to see that. Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna go as well. John, what I was gonna say, like the second act. To me, is better than the first act for sure. It's more emotional. The acting I think will be fantastic. And
have they already completed it?
No, I don't know if they have. If they have, then why they been taking a whole ass of the year?
I mean,
give it to us,
the stories I read, they shot it all like it's all shot.
It's all shot.
Okay, the Nazis are just edging us. Give us the whole thing now.
I mean, who don't like a good edge?
Listen, but like not a year's edge. That's a long ass time. Goddamn. Give me a week, baby girl. Goddamn. Okay. My yes ma'am Pam. So I'll be careful with this. I want to make sure people know what I'm saying here. Like, let me first preface with my heart goes out to the man who got shot, the CEO of United Healthcare. Yeah. That is really just like sad, and so that's just like really wild. But my yes ma'am Pam is to the folks who are exposing United Healthcare, the company, and how many claims they've denied, and how they have had the most amount of claims of any healthcare place. Yeah, and I think like this goes to show like people are like while this is sad news and it has brought an interesting like light on United Healthcare. It's very interesting. It's very like proud to see so many people like who used to work there as well, like the call centers, come forward about how they've had to deny claims for people for the most outrageous things, and how people have been denied good access to healthcare, or they haven't had good treatment because like there are people who may have died or had worse health issues because of the lack of care from a healthcare organization. Many healthcare organizations are horrible and bad, and yet we also need healthcare to survive. So it's a really tense place. But like, so just people who are really putting out there like this is really sad, and also y'all need to calm down and stop acting like United Healthcare is so great, because like any capitalist place is gonna be a capitalist place regardless, and the bottom line is gonna be better more than the best interest of the patient. So mindful of that. My no ma'am Pam is gonna be to Congress and this bill. So I typically not so tapped into Congress in this way, but I'm tapped in because there's a bill currently that was passed by the House that's going to go to the Senate, that if it passes the Senate, it most likely will be signed in by Trump. But it takes away tax-exempt status for nonprofits that are designated as terrorist supporting organizations. Now, one can see this as like this is a good thing, is it not? And like it could be, sure, I guess. But the issue is that it's appointed by the secretary who will be appointed by Trump, which you already know will be probably not a great pick in the first place. Whoever this person's appointed, whoever this person designates as a nonprofit as terrorist supporting, will get tax exempt status taken away. So that means like if they do one thing that doesn't sit right with the administration for no reason at all, without any having to give a justification, they can just say, I have 501c3 status, which messes up so many organizations, so many people's livelihoods. Like, I can see it going so horribly. As someone who works in grant making, I know that like for people who fund work, it will make it harder for them to fund as well too. There are nonprofits who are fiscally sponsored by other organizations, right? Like, they may not get funding because those organizations that sponsor them may have their status taken away. So it's just a very bad place to be. So a giant fuck you to Congress for that. I know y'all like I don't know what you're trying to do here, but like, this isn't the way to do it. Also, like, the reason why it came about to me was not a good reason. I'm just like, y'all need to be more for real about, like, do the things we want you to do. Like, we told you what we want from y'all as Congress. You're doing everything else besides that, and it's just getting really tired. And so I feel to that, and I hope that it doesn't go farther. If it does, it'll be a hard space for many organizations who do great work, who may either post the wrong, and the thing is, like, if they post the wrong thing, that could be seen as terrorist supporting. If they like say the wrong thing, like, it just really censors a lot of organizations from doing the work that they do, and could ruin the organization from one mistake. And that's just not the thing that I would want for anybody. That said, nonprofits also can suck, and nonprofits can be in the industrial complex as well too. So not all nonprofits are exempt from this, and some do deserve it, and some don't. There are ones that do good work, and so all that to be said, F you to the Congress, because y'all just keep playing in our faces. And that's it for my no man Pams.
Yeah, I was going to plus one. This idea about there's no equitable or moral way to be a billionaire. So I just kind of want to leave that where it is, and
well,
it's hard. Well, it's hard.
You said that. On that note, I have to go. That's been our show.
Hard, So and
I'm like, I would like to be a billionaire. What moral I got to get rid of?
I would like to be one. However,
what morals do you have?
However, and even down to, like, I know people look at Beyonce and Jay-Z and a lot of other, Selena Gomez and all these Oprah. Like,
J-Lo, Kim K, all the things.
You really got to think about it, right? Like, and I also will say this too, to your point, and then we can skirt on, because I know that we're getting close to time. I'm also very interested to say, and I want to shout out Ole. Ole has actually been very vocal about all of this. How interesting it is that they can't find the white man who did the crime, but yet how New York PD can find people who hop turnstiles or sell food or panhandle and blah, 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 blah. So I just want to put that out there, that I think it's very interesting that
for the CEO?
Yeah, for the CEO.
Oh, I think they have a suspect.
They found him?
Yeah.
They have a whole video.
There's a video. Yeah,
but my question is have they found him?
He's in questioning.
So he's apprehended.
Police release unmasked photo of a person wanting for questioning in CEO shooting.
But my question is, this was saying the apprehension is what I'm talking about. And that's what Ole's been going off about.
Yeah.
She's been saying that it's very interesting to her how they're like jumping every single turn to not find this person and saying, oh, we have to do all of these things. Right. But yet, like, when something happens to black folks or queer folks or whatever, the NYPD is like on it. Yes. So I just think that I just find it interesting. I'm not going to comment on that. I'm just saying I find it interesting. And that's the thing I think Ole is
unfortunate.
Yeah. Just a lot of... this world is exhausting.
Ole!
And we're not talking about the cookie and the crumble brand. My God. But anyway, all that to be said, let's wrap this shit up. Please send us your thoughts, feedback, and email to blackfatfempod@gmail.com. You can also send us your thoughts via social media by interacting with our posts on Instagram, Blue Sky, not the X, and even LinkedIn, honey, because Mother's popular over down to the LinkedIn. I didn't realize, people be checking and looking and watching and things. So come on down to the LinkedIn. Get a good little judge of what do they call that? I don't know why I'm blanking today. I'm blanking a lot today. Personal development, professional development. That's what I was looking for. Yeah. Come on down to the LinkedIn and get some professional development from yours truly. You can follow us at the handle BlackFatFemPod, or you can use our hashtag BlackFatFem, where you can find all of our, past videos and things of that nature. We're also starting to get a little bit of a following on TikTok too, so you'll see us down there as well. But anyway, all that to be said, Archie, where can the dolls find you?
Oh, thank you. You can find me everywhere at Archie Jay Speaks. TikTok is Archie Jay Speaks Live, and Archie Jay. And ArchieJ.com for all the things.
Yes, all the things. Queen Joho, where can the dolls find you?
As usual, my loves, you can find me at Joho Dance across all socials, including Blue Sky. I made my first, what would you call it? Would you call it?
They're calling them posts, but a lot what are calling them skeets.
Okay. What? Okay. Period. Yes. I have made my first skeet, and so there's that. My ski. My website at journeynails.com. Yes. Or if not there, you'll catch me throwing rocks outside Archie's window, begging to be on Archie's show.
Please.
Let me on the show, please. No, I'm totally kidding. You'll probably never see me again.
Not the Mervyn's open. That's
the what?
That's way before your time.
Yeah, I was like, what's that one?
Mervyn's.
Y'all don't know Mervyn's?
No, I know Mervyn's, but I'm like, not Mervyn's.
Y'all calling me old.
You called yourself.
You said it. You did say it.
I mean, I did.
You're like, oh God.
I did love a Mervyn's when I was younger, but I don't know.
Mervyn's is Coles. Mervyn's walked so Coles could run.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Well, if you don't find me there, she'll find me at Sears.
Mm-hmm. Sears is still open?
No, it's definitely closed as well. Twas a small joke I made. No. Anyways, John, where can I find you, bitch?
Yes, bitch. Well, as for me and mine, the first thing I'm going to tell you, please buy my book. Every pre-order counts, so please head down Amazon, Barnes & Noble, wherever you get your fine books. And I would also say too, if you are interested in buying the Black Fat Femme book and you're in an area where you're like, Barnes & Noble's is too far, I don't want to give my money to a big retailer like Amazon or Barnes & Noble, go to your local bookstore and request the book. They can order it for you, and then you can pick it up that way as well. So if you want the money to go into the hands of a small bookstore, that's what I've been telling everybody. Request it. And then also too, same thing with your libraries. Please request it at your libraries. If you don't see it in the library or if you don't see the option to be able to check it out, to pre-order and check it out in your library, go ahead and check that out as well. Let them know that you want it, that you actually would love to be able to check the book out. Other than that, if you're interested in purchasing the book, there's multiple ways to purchase it. Head over down to www.drjohnpaul.com. Also, I was going to say to our listeners, if there's anybody who watches Survivor and Later Daters, I would just love for somebody to jump in my inbox so I could process some thoughts. Because at this point, I feel like I'm the only one watching both of those shows.
I just saw something today. I was like, this show is wild. I need to watch.
Later Daters. Oh,
yes, the guy he said he liked his girl's ghetto and with a blonde wig.
Yeah, that.
I need to watch that because it does look really good.
You're 67.
Oh, that was a moment. That actually, good. I was like. I was like, what was said? Like yeah, that was a moment.
She's a doctor.
So, yeah, that was a moment.
Like Dr. Johnson, would you put on a blonde wig and get ghetto on her?
I can't. I literally can't. So please, if both of y'all can watch it, so I have somebody to actually process this show with. And it's really cool. I will say that I wish that there was a queer couple, or at least somebody, because again, you don't see older queer people dating. Right. And I wish there was more of that. I wish we did. So I wish there was a queer couple on there. But it is also great to see older people, kind of reminding us that there is life after 60. And it's fun. It's very, I know Michelle Obama is behind it. So it's done very tastefully. It's a very tasteful show. So yeah, anyway, jump in my DMs. Would love to talk to you all about that. And other than that, I'll just be here trying to get over this cold. All right, y'all. So with that being said, we want to thank our producers, Bei Wang, for handling all of the logistics, and everyone over at iHeartMedia for keeping the show up and running. Thank you, everybody who continues to support and, uplift and just give us just all of the, literally we've gotten so many great messages in the last couple of weeks, and it's really just, it's very timely. I will say that for everybody who has taken the time to either send an email, to send a quick message, to just nudge something that we've put on, or even to comment on our videos. We're definitely very, very grateful. We want to make sure that we let y'all know that we see it and we appreciate it. We want to also shout out our wonderful editor, Chris Roger, because without him, we wouldn't have a show or visuals. We love you, Chris. Thank you for everything that you do to make this show successful. This has been another one. Stay black, fat, femme, and fabulous. And remember, we may not be your cup of tea, but drink some water. You probably need it anyway. I love us for real. Bye.
Bye.